Hi English 102 online students. I hope you are all doing well and looking forward to getting started on week 3 of our course. So just to kind of get started with our course calendar, I'm going to click on course information over here to the left, and we'll download a copy of the course calendar just so you can see where we've been, where we're headed to, and what's coming up next. Okay, so we have completed week 1 and week 2 of the semester already. It's kind of hard to believe with all the craziness that we've endured since last spring and over the summer and coming into this semester. It's hard to believe we're already this many weeks into our current semester. So week 1 was basically about introductions. Last week, you're kind of developing this idea of what curiosity is and how important it is to kind of getting yourself ready to do research and to be passionate about what you're researching. So we're kind of laying that foundation before we get here to week 3. Week 3, our instructions are actually really pretty simple. You're not going to have a lot of small individual assignments to work on like you did in weeks 1 and 2. We're really going to be moving on to working on the first draft of your first essay assignment in our course. We have 4 major essay or writing projects that we're going to be working on this semester. The Curiosity Exploration essay. The next one, as we go down the list here, is the Critical Response essay, followed by the Annotated Bibliography, and finally the Problem Solution Research Report. And you can really think of all of these essay assignments as linking with each other. They're all kind of interconnected in some way. This Curiosity Exploration essay that you're going to be writing first, I hope will be kind of a foundation for everything else you do that comes later. The idea is to kind of identify a topic, or a research area that you feel really passionate about, really excited about, and that's going to carry you forward as you learn to do research. You're going to respond to an argumentative article about that same topic, unless you change it or tweak it a little bit. Your annotated bibliography is going to collect about 6 resources or so that still focus on that topic or that revised topic. And finally, what you write about in the problem solution research essay at the end will be kind of a product of everything you did throughout the whole semester. So you can really think of these as interrelated, building block kind of assignments. Okay, so as you'll see here in our course calendar, you're going to be working on that draft. You'll find everything you need for that in Module 2, and the due date is Sunday, September 6th. So let's go back over here to our My Classroom area and into course modules. Okay, and this week we are going to stay in Module 2. We've got a lot to complete here in Module 2, so we're spreading it out over some time. So going back into Module 2, just to review what you did last week. Okay, you did assignments 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, all of which are due by actually today, Sunday, August 30th. So you still have a little bit of time to get those submitted. You'll see, of course, the video tour from last week where I explained those first 3 assignments. You'll see the video that I'm recording right now. You'll see that underneath it'll be English 102 Online Module 2.2. So it's kind of like our second video tour through Module 2. So you read an article about whether curiosity is as important as intelligence. You worked on annotating that article, so kind of practicing all those different skills you learned about in Module 1 for pointing out ideas that stand out to you. I saw lots of great feedback from all of you about the different annotation techniques you prefer to use in your own reading and writing. The second assignment then moved on to this curiosity discussion. A couple of students did let me know they had trouble opening this video, and I reloaded it, and that seemed to solve the issue. But do check to make sure you don't have pop-up blockers enabled that might be blocking you from opening certain videos. I'm not sure if that was the case with this one, but just in case, it's good to check that as a possibility. Okay, so you watched this video about, why it's important to be curious, how it helps us learn and reflect and keep on wanting to learn more. And I think it lays a great foundation for what you're going to be doing in your own research process in the next few weeks. Okay, moving on down the line. Then you did an activity on effective introductions. So now that you've looked at a couple of example paragraphs of effective introductions, and you're going to be getting ready to write your own kind of personal essay or personal reflection in the curiosity exploration essay, those paragraphs and those techniques should hopefully give you some good ideas about how to get your own reader curious about your writing, about what you want to say to them. So it's a good way or a good activity to transition onto the first draft of your curiosity exploration essay this week. So the two links that you'll need to be concerned about throughout this week would be Major Assignment 1, the guidelines for the curiosity exploration essay, and underneath that, the link to submit your draft. So we'll start by looking at the curiosity exploration guidelines. Let's open that one up. And before you get started on your first draft, be sure that you read these on your own, just to kind of digest the information more slowly on your own time. So this overview right here just kind of goes through, maybe prior courses you've written in another semester. I refer back to an assignment that English 101 students often do called a literacy narrative. So a literacy narrative, it's a type of autobiographical essay that focuses on personal experiences with literacy and why they're important in your life. And now I want you to kind of take that experience that you might have had writing a similar essay in 101 and take that concept of the literacy narrative and use it to reflect on a moment or moments in your life when you developed an intense curiosity about a topic or subject. The idea of thinking about this, of reflecting on this intense curiosity, is that whatever topic you choose to research throughout the semester, I want it to be something that really matters to you, that's really meaningful for you, that's something you actually want to find more information about. So in this course, I'm not going to give you a pre-assigned list of research topics to choose from, because I don't think that's very authentic. I think for you to be excited about what you're going to research, you should choose it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be what we would call academic topics. You might think you have to write about a certain type of topic for it to be considered academic. Not necessarily. Later on in this video, I'll kind of go through a few of the topics that students have written about in the past. You wouldn't expect some of the ones people have written about, but they've been great, and I've learned so much from all my students over the years. Okay, so you'll think back and reflect on significant experiences within this area of curiosity that have helped you develop as a person. Think about who helped you learn about or appreciate this area of curiosity. Consider experiences that influenced how you think about it. Okay, so I've included this quote from Mark Twain here. Write what you know. This goes back to what I was just saying. If you're excited about your topic, you love what you're researching, it means something for you, you will do much better with it and you'll be more successful. Okay, your audience and purpose. I always put these elements into our essay assignment guidelines because I want you to know who you're writing for and why you're doing it. So your audience, of course, will be me, your instructor, but for this essay, they'll also be your classmates. We'll do a peer review activity with this essay, and we'll do one for the final research paper, but just those 2 times. And I think the peer review activity will be helpful for this essay because it will give you a sense of how people react to your topic, what they think about it, how interesting they think it will be for a larger audience. Okay, so your purpose is to compose a personal essay that tells a story about how an area that you are curious about changed your life in a memorable or significant way. And you might even think about how it has created or shaped the person you are today. So for getting started or pre-writing, I've given you an extensive list of questions here that you can use to kind of jumpstart your thinking about your essay. You don't have to submit this to me. You're not required to turn in any sort of pre-writing. I think by the time you're a college student, you've done this many times in high school and middle school, so you're used to what pre-writing is and how it works. So these questions are really for you to take notes on your own, You can type them, you can think about them, you can write them down on paper, just to kind of give you lots of ideas to begin with. Without ideas, it's hard to sit down and start typing something. And you have that, writer's block where the white screen is staring at you and you don't know what to type. So these questions should give you a good start, I think. For organization of your essay, I've given you a suggested organization pattern. And as you decide how to begin, think back to the effective introductions assignment from Module 2. And don't forget to use all these ideas you collected from the pre-writing questions above. So start with an attention getter that makes your reader think about your topic in a unique way. Gives them a little bit of background information that leads to a thesis about the significance of this topic in your life. And, as we go through this, once we're finished going over the guidelines, I'll actually show you back in the link in Blackboard, there's an example student essay, a student who wrote this same type of essay for another semester of English 102. So reading that example essay should give you a pretty good idea of what yours should look like. Hey, you can describe how you first became interested in the topic, early memories and influences, maybe family members, friends, maybe famous people that inspired you. Describe how the topic continued to influence you as you interacted with others or went through school, other experiences. How will the topic continue to be significant for you in the future? And then conclude by explaining the importance of the topic in your life and in the broader world. So you could think of this as kind of an outline. Maybe you'll have a paragraph or two for each of these sections. Okay, so sample essays, of course, as I mentioned, I did include one sample essay there that you can look at before you get started. Sometimes it's also helpful to do your own draft first and then go back and look at the sample essay. I find sometimes that when you see a sample essay, it sort of influences what you would do, and maybe it changes what you personally would have done in your own essay. So you may just want to start from yourself and what comes from you, and then go and look at the sample essay and compare how you did, and you can make adjustments or changes based on that. But of course, you're welcome to look at the sample essay before you get started too. Okay, so as far as assignment requirements, the final version of your essay should be 3 to 4 pages in either MLA or APA style. I'm going to let you choose based on what's more comfortable for you or which style you know better. In this course, I'm giving the option to use MLA or APA style in any of the assignments because I really feel like depending on your major, you're going to end up going in one direction or the other. If you are a humanities major, an English major, or a language major, you might be doing a lot of assignments in MLA style. If you're in education, nursing, even business, you're probably going to be using APA at some point. But the choice is really yours. If you want to embark on something new and try a new style in this class, go for it. I'll guide you through it and make sure you're getting it correct. I'm very familiar with both styles. But if you're really comfortable with MLA and you just don't want to jinx yourself and jump into something new, you're welcome to stick with MLA too. It really depends on which one's just more comfortable for you. So MLA and APA document templates are in the general course documents folder in My Classroom. So I'll show you where that is really quickly. We'll just backtrack here. So up at the top in general course documents, I've given you a link to an MLA template where you can basically just fill in your own information. It's just a document that's already set up that way. So you can add in your own specific information and then, delete this and type from there. For APA, there's a template loaded here. They may be PDF, and sometimes when I open PDFs, they make my Chrome browser go crazy, so I won't open them up. But in any case, they will give you the format that you should follow for APA style documents. I put both 6th edition and 7th edition here. That's because there's kind of a transition from 6th edition to 7th edition. If, for example, you've used APA in other classes and you're comfortable with the 6th edition, you're welcome to use that for now. Just because we're in transition, I think it's okay to stick with the old style if you wanted to do that. For 7th edition, there are some updates to the document format and to the citation format. If you're already comfortable moving ahead to that, you can do that too. So, I want to give you a lot of choices. So you choose either MLA or APA. For APA, you can choose between 6th and 7th edition. The choice is totally yours. Okay, so headed back to our assignment guidelines. Okay, so for the draft, that's what you're going to be submitting by next Sunday, September 6th. Your draft must be at least half of the required final length, or 1.5 to 2 pages. So it can be shorter. You can write all 3 to 4 pages if you want to for the draft. But if you just want to stick with the first couple of pages to get feedback before you go further, that is perfectly fine too. That's just the minimum requirement. Okay, so yes, the assigned topic for this essay seems broad, and that is intentional, because I want to give you the freedom to think in many different directions at this early time in the semester, because you might want to change it. You might want to take a slightly different direction with this topic. You might want to change it completely after the first essay. But, this is our chance now and in the first few weeks of research activities to kind of figure out what feels best for you. Okay. Now, don't be afraid to explore topics that don't seem academic. I have had students write about everything and anything. I have read papers about mixed martial arts, about cryotherapy, about globalization in South Korea. I have read essays about everything you can imagine. So, the more interesting, the more unique your topic is, I think the more your audience will enjoy it, and the more you will enjoy researching it. So don't be afraid to try something a little bit different. And keep in mind, this is also really important, that this is a personal essay and not a research paper. So I'm not expecting you to submit a research paper with an argumentative thesis that tries to convince the reader to accept a pro-con kind of position or anything. You will do that later at the end of the semester. So you don't need a works cited or references page with outside sources. You'll do that later. You'll do that in Essay 2, the bibliography, and finally the research paper. So keep it personal. If you really need to include a citation of a source, maybe there's just one little fact you wanted to include there and you don't want to plagiarize, by all means include a citation for it. But you don't need to think of this like a research paper. Okay. All major assignments in our course will be submitted in Turnitin. Many of you might be familiar with Turnitin, maybe not everybody is. And so basically Turnitin, when we go back into My Classroom, into our module area again, so right underneath these assignment guidelines that we're going through here, you'll see the link where you'll submit your essay. So you'll just click on View Assignment. And, well, it's giving me this message here now, but it will take you to a screen where it's going to ask you to upload your document from your computer. And basically Turnitin is a feedback tool for me. And I'll show you next week how you can access your feedback in Turnitin. And in addition to that, it also checks, it's kind of known as an anti-plagiarism software. I'm sure everybody knows by now about plagiarism and that we shouldn't do it and all of that good stuff. But the good thing about Turnitin is that it will highlight to you any text that you might have used word for word in your essay without giving credit, or it allows me to see that, and it allows us to talk about how we might fix that. In this first essay, I don't think that will be much of an issue though, since it's a personal essay and you're not using any information from outside sources, or very little. Okay, so back over here, let's see. One more item to look at in our assignment guidelines here. All right, so the schedule of due dates. As you already know, your first draft is due by Sunday, September 6th, minimum 1.5 to 2 full pages. I've shown you where the link is to submit your work. And next week, one of your homework assignments will be to review the draft of a classmate. And I'll give you more information about how that will work next week. We'll do it using kind of a groups feature that's built into Blackboard. Between September 6th and September 20th, that's the due date for your final essay. So we're going to be working on this for a little while. You can do an in-person visit at the Writing Center. They're offering e-tutoring appointments this semester. You can find all the information about that in our course syllabus, in the course information link in Blackboard. And of course, you can come and get help from me too. So come to my office hours. At the end of this video, I'll remind you about where office hours are, so you can come and go over your essay with me. I'll be more than glad, more than happy to give you some assistance with that. Okay, final essay, as I mentioned, is due September 20th in another Turnitin link located in Module 2. So remember the late policy, that each student can request a single one-day extension to submit the final draft. I say the final draft because we really need everybody's essay on time for the peer review activity that will come next week. So for the final draft, as long as you let me know 24 hours ahead of time, so that would be Saturday, September 19th, you can extend your due date by 1 day. And I have found that this has been a really helpful option for lots and lots of students in the past. As far as grading goes, you can see the English 102 writing rubric posted in that same general course documents folder where I showed you the templates. That rubric, I suppose it will be a good idea to make sure you know where it is. Okay, so back to my classroom and to course modules. And there is the link for office hours, by the way. In course documents, you'll see your rubric is located right here. So if you have any questions about that essay rubric, I'll use that to grade all your assignments this semester. Just let me know, and I'll be glad to explain that too. All right, so one quick visit back to Module 2. Okay, there we go. Okay, so also know that the sample essay is right here. So if you want to take a look at the sample essay, you'll see that there linked to the major assignment guidelines. And really that is pretty much it. The only other thing I would mention that I did point to before back in this general course modules area is don't forget about the office hours. So Mondays and Wednesdays from 2:15 to 4:15 and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All you have to do is click on virtual office hours, and I've got links for the 3 days right there. So if you wanted to come on Monday between 2:15 and 4:15, maybe you're having some trouble getting started on your essay and you just want to get some advice, just click on that link. It'll take you right here into the Collaborate interface, and you'll just type your name, join session, and it'll take you there, and you'll find me there waiting for you. All right, so as far as assignments that you've been submitting, I've looked at all of your assignments, I think pretty much from week 1. So I'll be looking out at all of your assignments from week 2 and any that might be left over from week 1. It's been fun getting to know all of you, and I'll be getting to know all of you even further through your first writing assignment, which is always kind of fun to see what areas you're excited about and curious about. So I look forward to seeing your work next Sunday, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about the assignment, anything's confusing, concerning, I'm here for you. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye-bye for now.